Okay, so now we're getting down to it. Time to solve, right? And I'm going to show you the steps I use and how we do all this. And again, start out. Now these are going to be nice, simple one-steppers. So, and we're going to do subtracting and adding today. So just kind of starting up nice and easy. So we start out here with x plus 6 equals 4. So now here's the idea, folks. Our goal is to get the variable by itself. We have to undo whatever's been done. So here we have adding 6. The opposite operation, which we talked about before, is to subtract 6. And I expect you to show that on both sides. Now the way I like to do this is I like to show, I like to draw a line. You don't have to, but I draw a line here. You draw a solid line, a dashed line, to help me keep the two sides straight. And right now it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it will soon. We're going to have all kinds of fun steps here. So anyway, we want to get x by itself. 6 has been added, so we want to subtract 6. Notice we're going to subtract whatever's been attached to the variable, not the 4. We're going to subtract the 6 here. So x plus 6 minus 6, this literally creates 0. So x equals. Now on this side I have 4 minus 6, which we all know is negative 2. Now, so that's the answer, is negative 2. So we have to go back and do the check, which we practiced yesterday and the day before that. So we're going to plug in your answer into the original equation. So the check, we're going to say negative 2 plus 6 equals 4. Oop, there's an equal sign. And let's see, negative 2 plus 6, yep, that is 4. So my answer is correct. That's the check, got to show it. And I'm going to say it's always a good idea to go ahead and circle your answers too. That way I can find them when I'm grading my tests. Go ahead and pause, head into Class Kick. Your turn for a few. Again, I need you to show all the work, please. Alrighty, so we'll start with A here. And I've included the answer, so if you've already got it, you're good to go. But so we start with x plus 8 equals 3. Again, I'm going to draw my line. Look what's attached to the variable. 8, it's a plus 8. The opposite of that is to subtract 8. Subtract 8. So x equals negative 5. And again, you do have to show me the check. So you're going to take your negative 5 and plug it back into the original equation. So negative 5 plus 8 equals 3. And that is true. So my answer of negative 5 is correct. Now for B, again, you can see the answer right there. What's attached to the D here is a plus 1. The opposite is minus 1. Again, show that on both sides. 5 minus 1 is 4, so D does equal 4. And again, the check. 5 equals 4 plus 1. And notice here the variable's on the right side instead of the left. That doesn't make any difference. It always works the same. And that's true. 5 does equal 5, so my answer was correct. And finally, again over here, you can see the answer. We have C plus negative 4 equals negative 5. Plus a negative is the same as like subtracting, right? So if you like to, you can say minus negative 4 on this side and minus negative 4 on this side. And then think to yourself, well, I know what that is, right? Make them into pluses. So this becomes C equals negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. And so we can go back and we're going to check that. We're going to say negative 1 plus negative 4 equals negative 5. And yep, that's true. Negative 5 does indeed equal negative 5. So my answer of C is negative 1 is correct. Again, got to show me all the work. I know right now it seems like why bother, but it will come in handy later. Trust me. And I'm going to be picky about it. So continue for more examples from me. So sometimes we have to subtract to solve instead of just add, right? Fred's target heart rate is 130 beats per minute. This is 58 beats per minute more than his resting heart rate. Find the resting heart rate. And this is where when we write our own problems, we include what are called let statements. Let R equal the resting heart rate. So target heart rate is, so that's our equal sign, more than, right, resting rate. So 130 equals 58 plus R. Now we can solve that pretty straightforward, right? You go ahead and subtract 58 because that's what's attached to the R from both sides. And we can see that 130 minus 58 is indeed 72. So his resting heart rate is 72 beats per minute. Again, the check. You go back in. You plug that in. You say, okay, is 130, does that equal 58? Oops, 58 plus 72? And I believe you can add that up. I'm pretty sure that that is true. So our answer of 72 beats per minute is correct. Don't forget to label it. You can call it BPM for whatever, right? Pause, go ahead and end class kick. Your turn. Very similar problem here. Cora measures her heart rate at 123 beats per minute. This is 55 beats per minute more than her resting heart rate, R. So what we're looking for is 1, 2, 3, right? You could write a different equation too, by the way, if you like, but we'll write this one. 158 equals 123, I'm sorry, not 123 again, for Pete's sake, equals 55 plus R. So again, we're looking here, what's attached to the R? 55 is, so we want to say it's attached by addition, so we're going to use subtraction. Subtract 55 from both sides. 123 minus 55 is, by the way, 68. So 68 beats per minute. And we can check that pretty easily. 1, 2, 3 equals 55 plus 68. And you got to add that to double check, but it does work. So 68 beats per minute is correct. Continue for more examples from me. Alrighty, adding to solve an equation. Alrighty. So this is a whole lot like the one we just did. It's not really a stellar jump. B minus 12 equals negative 49. So we go ahead and take a look. B is 12 is attached to B by subtraction. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So add 12 to both sides. So B equals negative 49 plus 12. Well, obviously we're going to be really subtracting, and there's more negatives, so negative 37 is the answer there. And again, you do have to show me that check. We plug back in. Negative 37 for B minus 12 equals negative 49. On the left side, they're the same side, so you're really gonna add them. Why did I write 13? That's not what I wanted. I wanted negative 37. Whoops. There it is. Negative 37. Alrighty. Now again, they're the same sign, so we're really going to be adding them. And 37 and 12 is 49, and it's negative. So my answer is correct. Pause, go ahead and head into class kick. Your turn. Alrighty, so you got 3 here. And we're going to go ahead and notice, again, y minus 5 equals 8. So we're going to do the opposite and add 5 to both sides. When I say both sides, I mean both sides that equal sign. So y equals 13, and do that check. Does 13 minus 5 equal 8? Well, it does. So my answer was correct. The next one, p minus 30 equals 42. So add 30 because it's been subtracted. Add 30. So p equals, let's see, 72. And do that check. 72 minus 30, oops, that's a 3, I promise, equals 42. And that's true. So p is 72. And finally, x minus 14, the opposite is going to be to go ahead and add 14 to both sides. Add 14 to both sides. Again, both sides the equal sign. 98 plus 14 is 112. So x does indeed equal 112. And do that check. So we have 98 equals 112. That's not going to fit there. I'll write it down here. 98 equals 112 minus 14. And that is true. Both sides are 98. So my answer of 112 was correct, or 112 rather, was correct. Continue for another example from me. As always, I get to make story problems out of these. Love story problems. Your friend's DVR costs $328 less than her TV. Her DVR costs $179. How much did her TV cost? Well, obviously, she says it costs less, right? So, friends cost less, her TV costs, notice it says about how much, right? I don't know why we're doing about, but your friend's DVR costs $378. $328 rather, less than her TV. So, we don't know how much the TV is, right? So let T equal the TV minus 325. That's our 175. 170. Why did they do 179? 175. Oh, I see. They're estimating here, aren't they? Oh, yeah. Well, let's do the actual problem. I just read that again. I guess they're really just wanting to estimate anyway, aren't they? So let's look at theirs then. Fine. So, again, t minus 325 equals 175, because we're rounding apparently. 328 to 325, 179 to 175. I might have gone to 180, but... and again, you're going to go ahead and add 325 to both sides because it's been subtracted. So t is about 500. That's the answer we're looking for there. D is what they're looking. Your turn, head into class kick. Alrighty, so on here, a used book costs $17 less than the same book new. The used book costs $9, but how much does the new book cost? I mean, you could find the actual amount, right? So they're rounding here. 17 is about 15, right? And 10 is about 9. So we know that $10 is n minus that 15. Again, you could have just as easily written the real thing, right? 9 equals n minus 17. Well, it would have been the real thing. But anyway, we're looking for an estimate. So here, again, 15 has been subtracted from the variable n. So I need to add that 15 onto both sides of the equation. So I get 25 is about n. Okay? And again, you could have just as easily done the real thing here and just, in this case, added 17, right, to both sides. And we would have found an n equals 26. That's about 25, so there we go.